I'm Gavin from Spitfire Engineering Services, and in this special episode we're going to show you how we built our Raptor 2014 MT for D&J projects and every trade. Now I will warn you, this is a very in-depth video and it tells you a lot about how we designed it, how we built it and what happened when we installed it. So press pause now, go and grab yourself a cup of tea, come back, buckle up and we'll show you all the details. So, me and George, we're sitting here in the meeting room and we're going through on the big screen in the office the layout of this new trommel for Dave at D&J. What we do is before we start any build and it's got some amendments and changes or anything like that, what we do is we sit here in the office, we put it up on the big screen and we spin it around and we take it apart and look at it and see if there's any flaws or any changes we want to make to it before we commit the build. So we're going to go through this now. We're going to make sure we're 100% happy with it. Okay, so let's have a look and see how we've put this together on the CAD system. George is now going to just give us a quick run round just to see how it's all been put together. The CAD will actually allow us to actually have things moving, which you'll see in a minute. You've got the drum turning here, and we'll try and show you some other features as well. The side doors open for maintenance and access for cleaning and maintenance. And we can also dive in and see the drive mechanism on the infeed, which is unique to this machine. Okay, so let's close the doors up and let's show you how the conveyor is put together. We'll extract the conveyor from the machine and just break it down on the side so you can see what's inside it. So I've pulled the conveyor out of the main machine. You can see pretty much all the bits and bobs of the conveyor, the side panels, the motor and gearbox, it's all in there. And if we take the side off, you can see all the rollers inside and how the actual fabric of this conveyor is actually put together. Okay, as I said earlier on, we can make things move on this, so you'll be able to see the machine actually move up and down on its legs now. You saw earlier on that we can spin the drum, we can even spin conveyor belts, and we can change things, we can make things move on the CAD. It's really clever how it works. And you can see we can actually get all four legs to go up and down on the CAD, just like it does in real life on the hydraulics. Hot off the CNC plasma cutter are these panels here. These are the side panels for the conveyors for the trommel. You can see the cutouts at the end where the shaft sits in for the head and tail drums, and you can see all the different holes and the profiles that the actual CNC can do. We hate drilling holes, so we design things to use the CNC plasma as much as possible. You can see the slots coming up the sides here, where the side covers go on. These pieces of box section here are the inner jack legs for both trommels. We can cut these holes in the box section using our CNC plasma. We can get the torch high enough so that we can actually get the box section on the bed of the plasma. That's 100 by 100 by 8mm thick box section there, that is. Okay, so this is our brake press. Remember a minute ago you saw some flat panels ready to be folded. Well, now we're going to fold the panels. So this is our brake press. We've got 3.2 meters full length. So anything we cut on our CNC plasma, which is a 3 meter sheet by 1.5 sheet, is the biggest sheet we can have on there, we can fold full length on this. This is 160 tons according to the manufacturer of actual pressing force. It's all full touch screen over here, so it's really easy to use. You can change the angle just here, and you can change the back gauge here. So we can change the height of the back gauge and we can change the depth of the back gauge. We've also got different settings over here, so we can actually change the angle correction and also the correction on the back fingers as well. So if it's not dialed in right, we can actually adjust it. We change the thickness here, and we can change our bottom dies and our upper dies here,
And on this as well, we can also set it so that if we've got multiple folds on one panel, we can have as many different programs in here as we want. So we can actually go through, add programs. So if you're folding a panel with, say, 10 different folds in it, we can program every single fold so that it runs, every time you do the first fold, it then runs onto the second one, and then the third one, and everything after that. So if I just show you how this back gauge works, we'll just change this to, say, 200 mil. And if I spin the camera around and you have a look at the back fingers at the back, if I press this button here, oh, not at the end point, let's just come back up, and you see it goes back like that. So if we program it so that there's multiple different folds in the program, as soon as the fold is done and then the top tooling comes back up, it automatically clicks onto the next program, ready for the next fold. So let's fold a piece of steel. And that is how the brake press works.
So as you can see now, the frames are being put together. We've got all the material down here. It's all numbered. The drawings themselves have got all the sections numbered on them. So as they get cut, they get numbered. And we've actually made up a side frame for this machine. We've actually turned it into a jig. You'll see on this, we've got all tabs sticking up. So what we can do now, we can get all the cut box section. We can lay it on top. You can see all the numbers on the jig as well. So we can find the right number cut piece of steel, we can lay it on top, and we basically clamp it to these uprights here. And you can also see the flat plates that are welded to the top. We weld them to the top to make sure that the box section isn't touching the actual jig in the corners. So when we weld it up, we don't end up welding the frame to the jig. And you can see all the tabs are there. So we can actually just clamp the material to them tabs, and it just makes it easier. It took a good half a day to probably put this jig together. So you can imagine if you're doing 4 frames, which we are for these machines here, to actually have a jig and you can just stack all the cut steel on top. This frame here has actually been finished in the jig and is now ready for welding. You can see here all the joints are prepped. We grind these out to get full penetration on the welds to make sure that the frame's nice and strong. There's a weld that's already been done. And then this will now be finished welding both sides. We'll flip it over and weld both sides. There's 2 frames here that we've already done.
So we've got the frames all welded up now. These have all been finished now, ready for the dry fit. So we've got one frame here, and we've got another frame over here. Both sitting on their sides, so they've just been finished welding. We weld them and we roll them over, and we weld on all 4 sides. So these frames now, later on this week, will be assembled with the rest of the components, ready for the dry fit, before we then disassemble it, ready for painting.
These are the head drums that we will use for the infeed and also the fines discharge conveyor. Fully machined in-house. We can do all the turning and all the keyways. See the keyway just here. These will now go away, and just here we will have a rubber covering put on. And what they'll do,
the company that we send it to, they'll put a rubber covering on the outside of the drums, and that's what grips the belt and transmits the drive from these drums to the actual belt itself. The drawings for these particular drums are here, so you can see we've got all the key dimensions on there that the guys in the workshop can work from. It's got everything that they need to be able to put these drums together.
So we buy these drum rings in. We can make them ourselves, but it actually works out more cost effective to get another company to make these rings for us. So they come in like this, they're rolled and they're tack welded together. We finish welding them here. So we take a ring like that and we turn it into this. This is the discharge end. So it's got the support ring for the fifth wheel welded to this one. And then the other ring, the other end is this one here. You can see we've got the sprocket on at the bottom. And we've got the support rings welded on. This one's actually welded up. So what we do is we take two of these rings, this one here with the sprocket on and the one with the plain ring on the other end, and we connect them together with channel to create the drum. Okay, so we've made all the different components. We've made the drum, we've made the infeed, made the frame, we've made the conveyor sections, and what we do before we paint everything, we put it all together, because obviously this is the first time we've built one of these machines. So we put it together just to make sure all the panels fit, we've got all the dimensions right, because sometimes you get some panels that when they're on the CAD, they all fit, but actual physical fitting of some of the components in real life, sometimes you realise, like this panel at the top for instance, we found that that doesn't quite fit in right, so we've just had to adjust it and make it fit. So we've put it all together, we can check our clearances, we know that we've got everything and it all fits, and this will now get broken down and then be sent through to paint. So we can break it down, paint all the components, and then what we can do is we can then bring it all back in the workshop. The frame's going to get painted first because that'll be the first thing that comes back into the workshop for assembly. We're going to get the frame painted, we're going to get the drum painted, we're going to get the conveyor painted, and we're going to get the hopper painted first because they're the big components that then build up the main machine. And then the panels will get painted last, the doors, the side panels and everything else, because we can put everything together, all the main components, and then finish off by putting the final panels on at the end when we finish getting access to the conveyor, the drum and the infeed.
Up and it'll fall through, what we've gone for, is it 50 or 60 mil punch? 60 mil punch plates in there. So it'll break the material up and all the fines will fall through underneath and fall onto the conveyor that's underneath, which is that one just there. And then that is designed so it's high enough and discharged straight into your mini screen. If you've got the other drawing with a mini screen on it, you've changed it now, have you? But yeah, it's on 4 jack legs, so it's low for transport and moving around. But then when it's in position, it'll lift up on 4 hydraulic legs, and then your mini screen will fit under the end of it, so it can feed straight onto the mini screen.
How tall is it in real time?
You'll see in the workshop in a minute. Actually, we've got Dave's has already been assembled for dry fit, so we're nearly finished the fabrication part on that one, and then that'll get broken down.
You'll be fine. This is 8 mil thick. We used to do these at 5 or 6 mil in the early days, and eventually they would go a little bit egg-shaped. So we've now gone to 8 mil, so it's a bit more robust. Tweak it if we do need to speed it up, but you'll find 12-15 RPMs about right. That's about what you want. You've got variable feed on that one. Okay. Feeding into it, so you can load it more or load it less. You're going to load yours with a digger mostly?
Or the grab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably the grab. I would imagine that's the idea, isn't it? Just straight away.
Yeah.
Straight away. Grab.
Take it straight out.
That's what I'm saying about the greedy boards. You were going to talk about putting greedy boards on.
Yeah. Well, you've got greedy boards on 3 sides. Okay, so we've started putting the machine together now. You can see we've got the conveyor in, all the wiring's been done, the electrician's been in, done all the wiring, the belt's on. Obviously we saw the frame right from the start, it's looking a lot different now. Like I say, we've got the infeed in now, that's all wired up, that's all working. Hydraulic legs, so you can lift it up into its working position so it can feed direct onto a mini screen, which is the reason why we've got the hydraulic legs, so we can lift it up and you can put a mini screen under the far end. Coming down here, we've got the drum drive motor, chain driven drum. We always drive our drums with a chain because it's a positive drive as opposed to driving the wheels, where sometimes when it's wet the wheels can slip and then the drum doesn't turn. So we always drive the motor with a chain. The drum's in. This one's got 60mm punch plates in because this is what Dave and Chris both wanted, because that works well for what their application is. Sitting on 4 drum wheels that is done to our design, sitting on bearings, everything's greasable. More hydraulic legs on the front, and then if we come round here you can see the inside of the infeed. So in there you've got obviously the infeed, got a nice wide opening there so we can get the paving slabs through and everything that Dave and Chris have got on site. There is a cleaning brush still to go underneath, but we've also got the bulkhead panel in there to stop material from going back out that end of the drum. Got the lifter bars in, which is what we do on all of our trommels. So actually what it does is it actually lifts the material up, tumbles it, and it breaks the material up. Some drums don't have these bars in, the material tends to just skid around in the bottom, falls out the end, but this actually lifts and tumbles and breaks the material up. If you keep coming around here, you can see the control panel. So the control panel, we've got the starting procedure on the control panel, the stopping procedure, and also we've got the maintenance. So everything that's in the operator's manual is also on the sticker here. It's all pretty self-explanatory, everything's labelled up, everything that it needs. So this is now going to be finished. We've got all the panel work still to put on. We've got 2 doors in here, some more hopper panel work, and then some panels in here, but we thought we'd show you as it is at the moment so you can see the workings behind it, because once all the panels are on you won't be able to see most of this stuff. So hopefully the next time you see this it'll be finished, it'll be outside and it'll be running. Okay, so we're all set up now. We've got our mini screen under the conveyor and we got it up on the legs. Got some nice soil to screen, nice fairly dry soil, so this should go quite well. Obviously we're going to load it in the top there. We're going to have all the oversize coming out the other end of the trommel drum, and then the fines will come up onto the mini deck. Any stones that are still in there will come off this end, and good topsoil should come out the other end. So let's see how we get on. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. We've certainly enjoyed doing these two builds for D&J Projects in Every Trade. It turned out to be a great success, to be honest. 2 new machines to 2 YouTubers. A lot could have gone wrong, but we delivered both machines, both worked flawlessly, and we're really happy with the results. Both Dave and Chris love their machines. They work really well with their mini screens. And in the next few weeks, I'm going to try to get to both machines and interview Dave and Chris to get some real customer feedback on their machines. And we're going to showcase that in our bi-weekly episodes. If you've not already seen our bi-weekly episodes, look on our channel, find the bi-weekly episodes, like and subscribe please, and always leave comments, good or bad, doesn't matter. Let us know what you think to the videos. If you want any specific content in our videos, leave that in the comments as well and we'll see what we can do. Until next time, thank you for watching. If you've got to this bit in the video, I'm glad you've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed... If you've got this far in the video, well done you.